everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I'm going to assemble Jaded Blossom's MDF cows. Hey, so these are the MDF cow pieces. You can have a standing one or a hanging one. And I'm going to be using Gnome Friends cow dyes, the MDF Standing Bases, and I'm also using Sunny Studios, what is that pad called? All is Bright. Okay, so this is cut from that. So it's called All is Bright. It's just a little holly pattern using that MDF Standing Base dye from Jaded Blossom. And I just used some Barely Art glue, you know, be generous, weight it down. Okay, so next I'm going to assemble the cow. So I'm starting off with paper tray ink white cardstock here. And I am going to stick that down on the base. And you want to, like I said, be generous. You don't want it oozing out, but at the same time, you want enough that it's going to really stick well. And then weight it down with an acrylic block. And next we will assemble the rest. So we have the cow head cut from paper tray ink white cardstock. So this is going to be a white cow. Adding on the ears. Now, there we go. And then next I'm going to layer this up. I'm going to add the head to the cow. It's kind of good to have a couple of layers when something reaches out past the MDF piece. So that's what I do. I usually cut it out twice and then layer it up just so it's a little bit thicker. Now I'm going to add this little head piece on. Now there are cow face stamps that you could use on these, which would be adorable, but I chose to go a different route. Now this is Sweet Blush cardstock from Paper Tray Ink and American Crafts black cardstock, just for the little snout or nose or muzzle or I don't know, whatever you call a cow nose. There it is. So I'm going to weight those together in a minute. I'm just getting rid of the extra glue there. And I'm going to add it to this other muzzle piece. So you've got like the bottom lip that's white. There we go. So those are all layered and I will weight it down with an acrylic block. And then there is a tummy that I cut out of Sweet Blush cardstock as well. This is a white cow, so I'm going to give it a pink tummy. There it is. It lines up perfectly with the chin, as you can see. And this is very simple. I find this is a very simple assembly. So these little hooves were cut from American Crafts black cardstock. So I'm going to glue those to my base. Now, obviously, all my die cutting today was done with the same Anna Griffin Empress machine that I always use, using reverse tweezers, working on a little folded up piece of that Stampin' Up! Pad that I always use. There we are. And next, this is American Crafts black cardstock. We're going to give it a black forehead stripe. There we go. And then the little tuft of hair on its head will also be black. And I'm just going to layer those together. There, it's just too cute, right? Now we will add on that little nose with some Barely Art glue again. There it is. It's really simple. That's an adhesive eraser, which is your best friend for, you know, when you are assembling things. Next, I am going to add on the inside of the ears, which is also Sweet Blush cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. So I really like putting together these MDF pieces from Jaded Blossom. I think kids could easily do these, you know, if you cut out all the pieces for them and had like a little picture for them to, you know, or one to follow. They could easily glue one together and it would be lots of fun for them. They could decorate them how they'd like, right? Now, next I'm pulling out, these are shape sprinkles from Doodlebug. This is ICU, and I'm just going to use 2 black enamel dots for the eyes. So instead of using the stamp set or the die cuts for the eyes, I'm just using these enamel dots, right? So I think it's fun. It gives a little bit of shine. So there is my piece. Now, there are little front leg pieces, sort of like that way this cow can hold on to something. So I'm going to layer those up, cut from the same Paper Tray Ink white cardstock and American Crafts black cardstock. So I'm just going to layer them up. Now, obviously, you could skip the part, you know, you could call it done right now if you wanted to. But there's another little piece that you can layer here. And I just cut them out, and that way everything's level, right? And add those on, and there are the two little front feet, so it could be holding something, or front arms. Now I'm pulling out shape sprinkles. This one's called Frosty Friends, but I'm only using it for the little tiny circles that are on there. And this one is called Holly and Pine. And I'm just going to add a couple of these holly leaves to this cow. So I'm making this one like a Christmas cow, just for fun, right? These would be great on tiered trays, on your mantle, you know, whatever you like. Trying to decide what side they're going to go on. But like I said, tiered trays, your mantle, your desk at work, anywhere you want to decorate for Christmas, it would be fun. And now I'm going to add in a few of these little round circles as berries. A lot of these sets from Doodlebug, they have these little round circles on them, and they're perfect for this. So there is the holly and the berries. Next, I'm going to have this little guy holding something. So I'm going to use another one of these shape sprinkles. So I'm pulling out a candy cane, I think. Oh, I decided to segue into a little bit of EK Success chalk on the cheeks. And then I'm going to use a Sakura white jelly roll pen in a number 10 to add a few little freckles, because of course the cow would have freckles, right? So there we go. I'm going to add a few highlights too to the little hooves. And there we go. Now we are going to add in this little shape sprinkle on here. So I kind of hoard these from Doodlebug. And obviously, you know, you could make this for any holiday you'd like. You could make a Halloween cow, right? An Easter cow, whatever you want, a fall cow. I decided to go Christmas though. So I'm going to add in my two little front legs. So there it is, holding a fun little candy cane. And now it's in the base. And look at that. How cute is that? Just adorable, right? Okay, and now I'm going to take a Sakura white jelly roll pen and add a couple of highlights to these front little hooves. And there we go. Isn't he cute? Okay, so next I'm going to put together the hanging one. So this could be like a Christmas ornament or used for a tag, whatever you like. This one will be a Christmas ornament. So I cut this first out of American Crafts beige cardstock. And you just want to line it up, lots of glue, all the things. Right? The one thing I like about American Crafts textured cardstock is the texture, right? Looks great. So next I'm going to put together the little front legs like I did for the other one. And there we go. So Jaded Blossom has a bunch of these MDF little pieces that they have in their store. So you can get them, you know, when they release an item, you know, a new die set, sometimes they will have MDFs that you can purchase to use along with those, with that die set. I think that it's just a fun way to use your die sets for other things, right? So now I am going to put together this super cute little cow. So the inside of the ears is also that Sweet Blush cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. There we go. Oops. Got to add in my ears. So there are ways to skip some of these layers if you want to, right? So this is a different way. I'm not going to put that front head layer on this one. So this is the brown, American Crafts brown cardstock for the stripe and the little tuft of fur. I'm going to go add on Paper Tray Ink white cardstock for the horns. There. So there's less head layers on this one. But it still looks adorable, right? You know, so you can cut down on the amount of die cutting that you want to do. So this is going to be his little nose. I'm making it brown, just so the chin will be brown. The little muzzle area will be Sweet Blush cardstock and American Crafts cardstock again. and then adding it to my cow. Everything lines up with all the die cutting lines, with all the stitching. So now I'm going to add some EK Success chalk to the cheeks again. And some, of course, some freckles with my Sakura white jelly roll pen in a number 10. Okay, and there we go. So now I'm going to stick down the head onto the base. There we are. And then we're going to line that up. And I just think this is super cute. There, and we can weight it down with an acrylic block. Next, I cut the tummy brown on this guy, just so we can kind of go with the theme of the brown right down the center. And then I'm going to add on the little hooves. That's that American Crafts black cardstock. Yeah, and we're almost done. There. I think these are super cute. And like I said, I think kids could certainly do these, you know. Okay, so I'm taking out those same ICU shape sprinkles, and I'm going to add 2 eyes. There. Like I said, you could use the Cow Faces stamp set, right? And have some nice, fun stamped eyes if you'd like. Next, I'm going to use this set from Doodlebug. These are called Twinkle lights. I'm going to have this cow holding one of these Christmas lights or Christmas bulbs. And then we will pop up the little legs with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals as well. There. So he's going to be holding his Christmas bulb. Isn't that cute? Now I'm taking, this is Trendy twine, and it's just red baker's twine. I'm going to knot the end and make a loop. And then I will thread it through the hole. And then we will have a little hanger for this guy. Fun stuff. And I'm going to pull out my holly and pine set again. And I'm going to use one of these little kind of evergreen twigs. And then I'm going to use these little red dots again as berries. I'm going to use one little heart though, just for fun. And then the rest will be little red dots for berries. And I just think this is super sweet. And isn't that cute? And so fun and easy and fast. Like, it's just a fun little craft. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store, to get your hands on these amazing products. And thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.